What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is BDenny, and Boise is the capital of Idaho. Today we're going to take a deep dive into the upcoming season for Le Club du Hockey. This is my 2023-2024 Montreal Canadiens season preview. We're going to break this video into a few parts. A recap of last season, what we're working with and what we've lost, newcomers and rookies, key pieces for the new season, and finally, my predictions. So let's get into it. But before we do, I'd like to announce that BDennySports merchandise is now available. We have t-shirts, hoodies, crew necks, hats, stickers, you name it. It's all available in 5 different designs and a plethora of colors. If you'd like to pick some up, visit BDennySportsShop.myspreadshop.com or click the link in the description. Hey guys, it's mid-edit BDenny. I forgot to mention this in the promo. BDenny merch is on sale right now for manufacturing price, which means I'm making no profit whatsoever. Sale only goes for a week, so August 26th, it's closed. But go ahead, pick some up. Well, there was no surprise that the 2022-2023 season would entail a rebuild. A team that was expected to make the playoffs a season prior had a historic fall from grace, and in turn, our expectations were low going into October. Canadiens had 2 first-round picks in 2022. Of course, we all know the Canadiens have made some questionable draft choices in recent years, but it seems as though management made the right choice in drafting Juraj Slafkovsky first overall. Unfortunately, his season was cut short due to injury. The Canadiens also drafted Philip Mesar in the first round, but he opted to spend one final season overseas. The Canadiens would be without previously injured captain Shea Weber, whose contract was dealt to the Vegas Golden Knights. Because of that, Nick Suzuki was named captain, the youngest in franchise history. Him, as well as veterans Brendan Gallagher and Joel Edmondson, would lead the Canadiens to a mediocre season in the toughest division in hockey. Not too many players had standout seasons. Suzuki, the lone Canadiens All-Star, led the team in points with a measly 66. The third-year scoring phenom Cole Caulfield would have a hotter season if it weren't cut short due to surgery. He finished with 36 points over 46 games. Newcomer Kirby Dach would become a fan favorite quickly, scoring tons of clutch goals. He finished with only 38 points. The defense held up okay, Joel Edmondson leading the young core, coupled with rookie Wi-Fi password Arbor Xhekaj. Xhekaj proved to be a fan favorite as well, but as with all good things in Montreal, his season was shortened to just 51 games. So in a season with shortcomings in scoring, defense, and longevity, what can we mainly attribute the problem to? Sure as hell not goaltending. The lone bright spot in a terrible season was the goaltending. Fourth-year fan-favorite backstop Sam Montembeault led the charge with a .901 save percentage. He picked up 16 of the Habs' 31 wins. Jake Allen would take the other 15, coupled with a decent .891 save percentage. And for his sake, let's not touch on Caden Primo's NHL performance this year, and be happy for the Laval Rockets' playoff push. So the 2022-23 season was decent for development, but not much else. Our final record was 31-45-6, last place in the Atlantic. So what remains of that team? Well, most of it. Players like Alex Belzile and Jonathan Drouin found new teams by testing free agency. However, the Habs locked up Cole Caulfield for 8 years, Raphael Harvey-Pinard for 2, and Sean Monahan for 1. A full list of re-signings is beside me. The Canadiens also made many new acquisitions, either via free agency or trades. The only major free agent signed by the Canadiens was Lias Andersson. He only played 1 game last season and only has 17 career points over 110 games. The Habs also picked up Philippe Millet and Brady Keeper. However, the Canadiens were a part of 3 major trades this offseason. They received third-year forward Alex Newhook from the Avalanche in exchange for 2 draft picks and AHL forward Gianni Fairbrother. Newhook, drafted 16th overall in the 2019 draft by the Avalanche, scored 14 goals and 16 assists last season for 30 points. He should have much more of a breakout role this year. The Habs also acquired goaltender Casey DeSmith and AHL forward Nathan Legare from the Pittsburgh Penguins as part of a 3-team trade, sending Erik Karlsson to Pittsburgh. DeSmith grabbed 15 wins on a historically bad Pittsburgh team last year. He also had a .317 goals against average and a save percentage of .905. As for Nathan Legare, he spent 2022-23 with the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins of the AHL, getting them 8 goals, 11 assists for 19 points. He will likely spend the next season with the Laval Rocket. They also acquired former Canadiens defenseman Jeff Petrie, who they redealt to the Detroit Red Wings in exchange for Gustav Lindstrom. Over 36 games for the Red Wings last year, Lindstrom scored 1 goal and 7 assists for 8 points, but he'll heavily be used for his defensive qualities over his offensive ones. The only major trade departures were a 2023 first-round pick to the Avalanche used to select Mikhail Gulyayev, Rem Pitlick to the Penguins, and Mike Hoffman to the Sharks. On paper, this is what the 2023-24 Canadiens could look like. And now I must address the elephant in the room. The Canadiens had the 5th overall pick in the draft. The consensus 5th overall pick was Russian forward Matvei Michkov, but the Canadiens picked consensus 7th overall pick David Reinbacher, a defenseman from Switzerland. As much as I don't like the pick, some fans went further, sending Reinbacher death threats. I do not condone this. These are essentially going to be my X factors for the season. These specific performers will be pivotal in either benefiting us or harming us. The main X factor is goaltending. As much as Sam Montembeault showed drastic improvement in 2023, he still needs to make big steps to be out of the fringe starter territory. Beyond that, Jake Allen is getting older, and his days in Montreal are likely numbered now that Casey DeSmith is in the organization. I believe that Allen will be dealt to the deadline, hopefully giving us some better pieces to round out the core. The next key is to keep the young guns healthy. Players like Juraj Slafkovsky, Arber Xhekaj, Caden Gooley, and Jake Evans need to play full seasons to begin to prove themselves. The Canadiens also have a huge prospect pool that need to begin coming into the league. Guys like Matthias Neulander, Philip Masar, and even David Reinbacher could make some advancements in their respective leagues this year as they claw their way to NHL careers. It's a competitive sport, and the kids need to do all right to succeed. The final and most important X factor is to keep management as is. It's not fair to blame outright shitty play on management. Kent Hughes is doing the best he can, and he was the best thing that happened to our franchise since our Cinderella run to the Cup Finals in 2021. His influence, coupled with Jeff Gorton, has been pivotal in the rebuild process. Plus, Martin St. Louis' coaching has proven successful. This staff hasn't been the issue. The play on the ice has been. And now, without further ado, my predictions for the Canadiens in 2022-23. The Canadiens were lucky to have the new realignment that makes teams play every other team. They have quite the easy schedule this year. After going over that schedule, I crunched the numbers. I tallied and predicted who would win each game. In the end, I have the Habs finishing with 37 wins, 40 losses, and 5 overtime or shootout losses. This has them finishing with 79 points, and I have us placing 7th in the Atlantic Division. This seems generous, but we have multiple stretches against shit teams like San Jose, Anaheim, Chicago, St. Louis, and Philadelphia. I'm not going to get my hopes up, but it's nice to know we have the schedule on our side. Against Atlantic Division opponents, I have us going 11-13-3. 1-3 against Boston, 2-2 against Buffalo, 2-1-1 against Detroit, 2-0-2 against Florida, 1-2 against Ottawa, 1-2 against Tampa Bay, and 2-1 against Toronto. My season MVP is going to Cole Caulfield, pending his health. Top goalie will be Sam Montembeault by a long shot. Juraj Slafkovsky wins Rookie of the Year. Caulfield will likely nearly sweep Molson Cups this season. So that concludes my 2023-24 Montreal Canadiens season preview. I'd like to thank Hockey Reference for all the stats I used in this video, as well as the Daily Face-Off for providing the lineups and pairings. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to grab some BDenny merch, and have a great day. Peace! Alright, we're in Queens, and I figured for breakfast I would ask for an authentic bacon, egg, and cheese with salt, pepper, ketchup at one of these delis. Holy f***, that looks good. Let's try this sumbitch. Look at the freaking bacon. Jesus. This is good. Oh my god. Don't leak it.